All right, hey boys and girls. So, let me fix that glare there. Today we're gonna dive into the Frog Prince again. We're gonna talk about it a little bit differently. Today you're gonna help me tell the story by looking at the pictures. How does that sound? Awesome. Now before we begin, I want to talk to you about the word setting. Can you say setting? Perfect. Now the setting of the story is where it takes place. Where are they? Where is the frog? Where is the princess? Where is everyone in this story? Now there are two settings in this story. Do you remember where they are? Well, let's see if you're right. The first setting where it takes place is the pond. Remember, she drops her ball. So that's one setting of the book. Now, where do they go? Where's the setting after she gets the ball back? Right, it's the castle or the palace. See, we just see it from afar from here, but we really go inside the palace. So those are the two settings of the story. And as we're reading the story today, I want you to be paying attention to the setting of the palace, because I want us to think about how it's the same and different from our own homes. How does that sound? Perfect. All right, well, let's help tell the story. Ready? The Frog Prince. One fine afternoon, a young princess put on her cape, picked up her favorite toy, a golden ball, and went outside to play. The sun was bright and the sky was clear blue. What happened here? Right, she dropped her ball when she threw it into the pond. Oh no. Oh, and then who comes along? The frog. Now, what does the frog say? Yes, he says that he'll go get the ball if the princess commits to letting him into the palace, right? All right, yep. And then the princess is like, yes, of course, I want my ball back. Yes, yes, yes. So what did the frog do? Yep, he jumped right in to get that golden ball and gave it back to the princess. And what did the princess act like? Yeah, exactly. Did she even say thank you? No, she didn't. That's not very nice. Well, she made that commitment, so she's eating dinner and she hears a knock on the palace door. So we've shifted from the pond, the first setting of the pond, to the palace. That's the setting we are at now. She's eating dinner and she hears the knock on the door. And what is the frog saying? Exactly. The frog said that you made a commitment and I need to come inside, right? Or I should be able to come inside. Oh, but she slams that door in his face and she talks to the king because the king sees that she's upset. Does she want to follow through with her commitment of letting the frog in? No, not at first. All right, but she knows that she made a commitment and that frog is knocking on the door again. So what does she do? Yep, she lets the frog in. And what does the frog do here? Yeah, he eats her food. Where are they? Where do you eat food at in your house? Oh, yeah, maybe in the kitchen or a dining room. Do you have your own chair to sit in at a table? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so he's super happy. And then he what? Goes to sleep. Where is he sleeping? Yep, in the bedroom. Look at that happy frog. Do you have a pillow that you use to sleep? How many pillows do you have? Oh, wonderful. And what about a blanket or a comforter that you pull over? Do you have one of those? Perfect. Yep, so the frog leaves and then he comes back again for 3 days. But then she wakes up and he's gone. But then the next day she wakes up and what happened? Right, the frog turned into a prince. And then they play together and they play together and they live happily ever after. The end. Round of applause. Awesome. So let's go back to the setting of the palace. Now, when we were in the setting of the palace, what rooms were we in? Where was the princess and the frog in this story? What rooms did we visit? Right, we visited a dining room or maybe even a kitchen. We visited the bed. We visited, also the front door. You have a front door? Yep. And yep, in their front yard. Do you have a front yard if you live in a home or an apartment? Do you have a front yard that you can go play in? Perfect. All right, so we're going to compare our own homes to the palace, okay? So below, I want you to tell me one thing about your house that is the same and one thing that is different than the palace. So let me tell you. One thing that is the same about my apartment and the palace is that I have a kitchen table where I sit and eat. One thing that is different is that my apartment is a lot smaller than the palace. The palace is ginormous and my apartment is a little bit small. So that's what I want you to tell me below. One thing that is the same from the palace about your home and one thing that is different about your home than the palace.